Welcome to the NASCAR playoffs. We've got the playoff field set after an exciting race at Richmond. Of course, a little bit of controversy. That's not uncommon in NASCAR. But we've got our 16 drivers. We're excited going into Chicago in what looks like it's going to be a beautiful and really exciting race weekend. The playoff format, the way it works, really hasn't fundamentally changed other than the points, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So we've got the first three races that are Chicago, New Hampshire, Dover. Dover is a cutoff race. That's followed by Charlotte, Talladega, and Kansas. We're a cutoff race this year. Then we go into the third round and then the finale at Miami. But the important thing, the big important change this year is how the points work and the bonus points, the whole stage racing and the way that's changed NASCAR. Let's talk about that a little bit. So I mentioned that we already have the playoff field set. We've got 16 drivers. How did they get in? 13 get in on wins. It's a very simple win and you're in formula. We've never had more than 16 drivers in the modern era win a race. So win and you're in, that's the easiest way to get in the playoffs. The second way is regular season points. That's where you finish the race or stage points. You get up to 10 points for winning each stage. That's how 3 of the drivers got in at the bottom of the field, so to speak, because they didn't have race wins. So we've talked about how the drivers got into the playoffs, but what's really important now and what's been a little bit difficult for people to understand because the focus has been on how do you get in, how do the 16 drivers qualify, is how do the playoff points matter? And this is where the new stage racing system is really going to change the way the playoffs work going forward. So all 16 drivers, like we have in the past, start off at 2,000 points. They move up above the entire field. Then you add their playoff points. So like in Martin Truex's case, he's got 53 playoff points because of the things he's done throughout the regular season. It's a combination of race wins, stage wins, and he got 15 points for being the regular season points champion. All of those things are sort of a nod back and really bring back the history of NASCAR and the value of great racing throughout the season. And that was the goal of setting up stage racing, was to make exciting moments during races, but also to really value great racing throughout the year and reward those drivers that race hard all season long. And that's where the playoff points make a huge difference now. Because unlike in the past, when those playoff points, or bonus points as they used to be called, went away after the first round, after the Dover cutoff, now they move forward. So when the drivers go into Charlotte, Martin Truex Jr., as an example, will have at least 53 playoff points, and he may have more if he wins races or stages in between now and that race. Of course, it's still win in advance, but only 3 drivers can win in the next 3 races, which means the rest of the field of 12 is going to have to get in on points. All the points are the same as they would always be, but the playoff points, the bonus points that you earn for winning stages and winning races, carry through to the next round. So you keep your playoff points. I can't emphasize how big of a change this is. It really makes a difference. And so Martin Truex Jr. having 53 playoff points really gives him almost a full race cushion. A full race cushion going in. If he has a bad outcome in one race, he can probably still advance to the next round as long as he doesn't have 2 horrible races. So again, last year in Charlotte, they were all reset to 3,000 points. Everybody was even. This year, it's 3,000 plus your playoff points. So it really makes a difference. I can't emphasize that enough. It's really going to be interesting. It's really going to be exciting, and I can't wait to see how this year's playoffs go out. As we look forward to Chicago, what are the things to watch? First of all, it's a playoff race. Every playoff race matters. Every driver who wins a playoff race automatically advances to the next round. In the past, you might have heard about drivers who win that first race sort of testing in the next 2 races. They can't do that anymore. Now they've got to think about winning stages and hopefully winning the race to build more playoff points and build a bigger cushion looking into the next round. Remember, the points carry over. It's a big difference from last year. Who are the drivers that are likely to be great? Well, Harvick has won it at Chicago twice. Keselowski has won at Chicago twice. But I think with the new points format, with the new stage racing, and Chicago is always a bit of a wild card, I think the field is wide open. I would say any of the 16 drivers in the chase, but I think the entire field has an opportunity to win. And don't look past somebody like Joey Logano, who might be a little bit upset about not getting into the playoffs. If he wins, that knocks out a chance for somebody that he feels he should be in their playoff spot. He wins, it's harder for them to advance. So we're looking forward to a great weekend in Chicago, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.